Welcome back to The Healthy Writer. In today's video, we'll be talking about one of my favorite topics, small talk. And as always, please like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I used to work at a pastry shop and there was a manager there and she hated small talk. I felt so bad for her because she had to do every interaction with other humans without the joy of being able to talk about small things. Small talk helps the day go by if you're working in a front-facing, public-facing role. Small talk helps your mouth move throughout the day, so your jaw's gonna be more relaxed. Usually you smile during small talk. Lots of benefits to smiling. Small talk is fun. Sometimes there's laughter. Sometimes you meet super cool people. There's just so many benefits to small talk. If you are new to small talk and don't know how to begin, don't worry. This guide will help you be on your way to talking about small and probably semi-unimportant things. First off, let's talk about situations where you might not actually want to engage in small talk. If a person is threatening to stab you on public transportation, if someone looks really tired, maybe drunk, maybe they're falling asleep, if someone has headphones on, they usually don't want small talk. If someone is giving you a mean look and trying not to make eye contact with you, they probably don't want to talk about small things. Yeah, so those are good examples of arenas where you shouldn't do small talk. It probably won't end well, especially the one with the person threatening you with a knife. Here are some topics that you can talk about when you're engaging in small talk. Number one, this list would not be complete without the weather. Weather's the number one small talk topic to cover because it's the weather. It's always changing. There's going to always be weather wherever you are, unless you're underground, which you probably are not underground, especially if you're watching this, but maybe you are, no judgment. There's so many different ways you can talk about the weather. You can say, wow, the weather's so nice today. Oh, it's nice to have a great sunny day after all that rain, if there's actually been rain preceding this day. If it's another rainy day after a slew of rainy days, you can be like, man, so much rain, and the other person will be like, oh my god, right? Snow is a great topic. Driving in the snow is a great topic. The roads, state of the roads in troublesome weather and patterns, heat stroke weather, anything dramatic with weather is always a hot topic. Yeah, so weather is always solid as a number one for small talk discussions. Another topic you can discuss when it comes to small talk is checking out aspects of a person where you might be able to bring forth conversation. Do you like a person's pair of earrings that they're wearing? You could say, yo, I like those earrings, they're sick, where'd you pick them up? And then the person can be like, oh, I got them from such and such place. And then you might talk about other things. You can also talk about other attire that people are wearing. When I was in Budapest on my birthday some years ago, I was on a tour at a synagogue, as one is on their 29th birthday. And a gentleman looked down at my boots and said, hey, I like your boots. And I said, thank you, me too. I just got them in London. And then we talked about my boots a little more. And then we ended up hanging out the rest of the day. We finished the tour, got some glue wine, and yeah, it was nice. There was snow, there was wine, there were some statues, there was walking. It was a great day, and it all started with small talk. Other things you can pick out with strangers to talk about. If they're holding a book, you can be like, yo, is that a good book? This is a great way to get book recommendations. This is also a great way to talk with someone who enjoys books if you enjoy books. That said, there is a caveat to approaching a stranger with a book. That person is reading in public, so they may just want to continue reading in public. Don't be surprised if they're short with you, if they A, don't answer you, or B, are like, yeah, this is the title, and then go back to reading. If someone says, this is whatever about the book, and then they immediately go back to reading, leave that person alone. They need their book time. Small talk is not an excuse to harass or make people sad about being in public trying to read. Another great mechanism for beginning small talk with a stranger is when something weird happens around you. One time I was on the subway and there was a very drunk person who was just trying to eat a bag of Cheetos, as one does when they're drunk. And this person, God bless them, wherever they are, they were a very sleepy drunk and they were kind of swaying on the subway. They had a bag of Cheetos in their hands and they kind of were leaning over. And as they were leaning over, their Cheetos were falling on the subway floor. And every now and then they would kind of wake up and start eating a little bit of their bag of Cheetos and they'd fall back to sleep. And then the Cheetos would start spilling again. It was wild. It's a wild Cheeto spillage. They seemed relatively okay, besides being excessively sleepy. They did seem to get off at their stop. So it wasn't a case of they stopped breathing or anything where I felt like medical attention should be called in. But after they got off the train on their stop, I think I ended up talking to a guy next to me. We were both kind of laughing. I wanted to take a picture, but I didn't want to be rude about taking a picture of a stranger in public, so I ended up sketching a picture of this person with all their Cheetos around their feet. So if something crazy happens around you or something kind of funny, you can be like, oh, haha, that's funny. Or if like something a little less funny and more serious, like someone acting a little outlandish. Another small talk option is asking people what they do. So when I worked at the pastry shop, there were so many opportunities for small talk. One day I ended up speaking with this woman. She was so friendly. We were having like a nice little vibe. And I was like, oh, what do you do for work? And she said she worked at a digital marketing agency with her husband. They owned it together. And I said, oh, that's so funny because one of the jobs I applied to when I graduated was a digital marketing agency. And she was like, oh, how did that go? Did you get an interview? How did it proceed? And I said, oh, not very well. I didn't get an interview. I was, going for a copywriter position. And oh, that's too bad. And I said, yeah. And then I said, here's your sandwich or your soup, whatever she ordered. She walked out. And then later on in the afternoon, she came back. And I was like, oh, cool. That nice woman is back. And she handed me her card and she said, send me some of your work samples. I would love to see your work. And that was how I got my very first copywriter job out of college, was out of a small talk occasion. It's one of my favorite memories. I ended up working for her and mostly her husband for a couple years after that. And then later on, I was actually in a position to help hire her daughter at a company. So it was a cool, full circle, beautiful little exchange. So sometimes when you have small talk, something beautiful like that may occur, and all it has to start is by asking a little bit about the other person, hearing a little bit more about their world and where they're at. Other times with small talk, I've made new friends. I've made several friends on the sidewalk or subway platforms or on trains. I made a friend when I said I liked her purse on a train. Another opportunity for small talk is when something goes amiss and you and other strangers have a shared need. And that need, especially in a place like New York City, might be going in the same direction on the train. One day in New York, the trains were rerouted going crazy ways, as they sometimes like to do. And that meant I had to find a new way to get to the place I was going. And it seemed like this woman next to me on the subway platform also was trying to find the way to go where she was going. And we ended up talking to each other and we found the correct train that we both had to go on, and then we talked more, and then we found out we were both writers, and then we exchanged information, and then we became friends. So basically I am encouraging small talk because you might meet some really lovely people, and I think it's just a lovely way to remind yourself that there are other humans in the world. We're not alone in this weird, wacky, Cheeto-filled, spilled place. There are other humans around us. You might as well talk with them. Worst that can happen, they're kind of mean and they don't want to talk. Sometimes that happens. It's okay. Life goes on. They may be like that woman I used to work with at the pastry shop who hates small talk. That's fine. Some people just want to be peaceful in their own little bubbles, and you just let those people float away and then talk to the other people who are not floating away. Another opportunity for small talk is people who have dogs or other animals they're walking. One time in Central Park, I was sitting in the grass reading a book or journaling, and a woman parked with this little carriage and she started unfolding this little fence, and my curiosity, of course, was piqued. I was like, oh, what is happening here in front of me with this little fence thing going? And then she took out, I think they were like gerbils or something. She had like a gerbil or two, and she put them in her little fence, and they were playing in their little fence. I think she had like a little ball or something for them. And I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. My sister at the time had an albino hedgehog, and I was like, oh, I feel like he would love this. I should recommend this to my sister. Do you mind if I take a picture? I did. She was chill with it. And we chatted a little. We did not become friends after. Can't become friends with every small talk interaction, but it was still fun. And I was like, yeah, like a cute little thing I saw in the park one day. Other opportunities for small talk: classrooms, employment, places where you work, sidewalk, of course, classic. And ways to engage in small talk in these places might be as small as an assignment you're both working on, or something funny that happened in your place of work or school. Like maybe a teacher cracked a funny joke. Sometimes it happens. And then you could be like, oh, haha, that joke was funny, right? This professor's so kooky. And the other person might be like, yeah, haha, what's your name? And then you become friends. Not every, I keep saying not every interaction ends with friendship, but I think I am trying to also encourage some friendships out of these small talk excursions, because life is more fun with more friends and more small talk. Other areas of small talk happening: if you're trying to try out something new at a cafe and you're chatting with the barista, you could be like, oh, do you have like any coffee recommendations? Anything new behind the coffee bar? And they might say, yes, blah, 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 something, coffee beans. Then you'll be like, cool, you have a new drink, and that's a great opportunity for more caffeine. One thing to remember when you talk in tiny manner to people: it's important to be respectful, to be mindful. If someone looks busy, they probably aren't gonna want to engage with small talk with you. I was dating a lawyer for a bit of a time in New York City, and he did not like small talk. And in my head, I thought, if we didn't meet how we met, we never would have met, because I wasn't working in a lawyer office, and the other way I met people was through, interactions with small talk. He told me that one time he was on a plane and some person started talking to him next to him, and the person obviously was like excited about the trip wherever they were going. And this guy I was dating, he took his earbuds, looked at the person who wanted to engage in small talk with him, and he slowly, without saying anything, put his earbuds in and then turned away from the person. If someone does that to you, they do not want to talk with you. I don't know if I would ever have the guts to do that to someone. I do think it's kind of hilarious, but also not very friendly, not very social. So if someone does that, respect them, let them listen to their music, let them enjoy their flight. Being stuck on a train or plane or anywhere where you can't leave and someone's entrapping you in talk when you don't want to talk isn't pleasant. I too have gotten hung up with others on planes at times where I haven't wanted to talk, when I've been reading or writing and someone keeps jabbering away. And you can't always talk in a small talk sort of way all the time. Sometimes we need rest, and that's okay too. How are you with small talk? Is it something you thrive at? Do you hate it? Is there a middle ground where you're like, it's annoying, but I do it? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, please like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and have fun. Be kind to each other. Talk to strangers sometimes. Take care.